Glazing is like a sport. Some characters have it and some characters don't. But today, we have to talk about the ones who have it. And not only do they have it, they could be considered the top glazers in all of anime. But let's focus on JoJo's. And if my voice sounds weird during this, I'm sick. So I'm gonna try to make this video, but I don't even know if this video will ever come out. Okay, well, first, we have Vanilla Ice. Now, I had mentioned in one of my recent videos that I had thought about making a series about the biggest glazers in JoJo's Bizarre Adventures, and Vanilla Ice was in that video. And man, oh man, he knew surely how to glaze Dio down like a fucking honey bun. The first time we ever see this man on screen, he's literally kneeling at Dio's door, and when Dio says he could come in, he says, yo, this scar right here hurts me. I need some blood. Vanilla Ice, without hesitation, chopped off his own head and dumped all his blood into a fucking urn. That's literally undying loyalty. Like, right there. And it's also the fact that he couldn't have known Dio for that long. You know what I mean? Like, don't get me wrong, Dio had already been out for a good few years by this point, but Vanilla Ice couldn't have known Dio for longer than maybe 2 or 3 years. You know what I mean? 2 or 3 years got you ready to die for that man. Got you ready to literally kill yourself for that man. Anytime you brought up that man's name, even in vain, he was ready to stop you. Not use his stand power on you. No. That's far too quick. He wants you to feel pain. Just like his precious Lord Dio felt pain when people tried to slander him. Like, still to this day, I've never seen a stand fight quite like Polnareff and Iggy versus Vanilla Ice. Because Vanilla Ice could have killed them many times. Many times. But it was literally his temper that got him in the positions he needed to. His temper is literally the reason he died. Polnareff says some crazy shit about Lord Dio. And even though Vanilla Ice knew by this point, because he had already broken something off when he stepped into the sunlight, he knew by this point he was a vampire. He could not let the disrespect slide and literally died trying to get Polnareff's ass. Like, he was selling the bag with how big of a glazer he was, but like, he just felt like that was what he had to do to protect Lord Dio, his Lord Dio's perfect image. And it could probably be inferred. He probably had a flesh bud planted right there. There's no way. I don't believe he did that shit willingly. As a human, no. He had to have a flesh blood. Up next, we got Speedwagon. And it's not really for much of what Speedwagon did. As a matter of fact, it low-key is. Because just imagine, you run into some rich guy in the slums, you try to fight him. He literally beats you, and he's willing to almost die trying to get out the slums. You admire his bravery, and you call all your goons off. By that episode, the mansion burns down. Speedwagon and Jonathan couldn't have known each other longer than like a month. And mind you, I want to say this, I currently can't look anything up because there's a network disturbance in my town from my provider. Thanks, Verizon. But Speedwagon was already giving Jonathan elite plays. He told Jonathan his brother, quote unquote, was a snake and that he was evil. He was crying for Jonathan once he thought the mansion burned down, and he was the first one to actually pull the trigger when Jonathan could not pull the trigger on his brother. Only reason I call what Speedwagon does glaze is because he literally set up a foundation, a trust that literally helps the Joestars no matter what. And mind you, we're talking about like 100 years in the future, bro. Part 1 takes place in like the 1890s. Part 6 takes place in 2011. By part 6, Jolene is still calling the Speedwagon Foundation like, yo, come help me. Come help me. I need a submarine, I need 3 cars, and I need 2 planes right now. Like, I've never seen loyalty just be built off of such pure just respect for somebody. Like, you never knew this guy. He randomly comes into your neighborhood now, like the opposite of Dio. Now y'all are best buds, been locked in forever. You know, y'all got respect, battle respect. And from that moment on, because from that moment, part 1 only lasts for in canon for what? Maybe a few more months? Because by that time, Jonathan's already 22. There's like, so everything Speedwagon sees with Jonathan is within a few months. And based off of those few months alone, he decides, yeah, I'm setting up your whole family, bro. He probably went to his grave and talked to him right before he just opened the Speedwagon Foundation and started helping Joestars. Which, granted, the Speedwagon Foundation's original purpose was to research on Pillarmen, but that still works too. Now, to end it off today, we gotta put Pucci up here. Like, I gotta put Pucci up here. Dio played Pucci so bad that Pucci really started believing Dio was a god. Like, Dio, to his credit, he is one of the smartest people we see in the series, because to not only create a heaven plan, but have that heaven plan halfway enacted by the time you die, so that whether you lived or died, you still always had the backup, who's way still in Florida. You're in Egypt. He's way in Florida. But for me, it's like the fact that Pucci went through, he met Dio, then he went through the worst, most traumatic event of his entire life. Then immediately after that, Dio showed up with a stand arrow and gave Pucci the power. Gave him the stand. There's no way that, like that's just not, he wasn't manipulation. That has to be manipulation. He's showing up when he's at his lowest. Are you kidding me? Like, why are you showing up immediately after he finds out his sister died? He's holding his dead sister's body in his arms. Now a stand arrow was piercing this nigga through his throat all the way to the back. That's crazy. But Pucci was going for it. Dio got Pucci to believe so much that Pucci, deadass, was willing to go through whatever temporary pain or whatever just so he would reach heaven. Now, granted, they both thought of each other as friends, but there are times where you hear Pucci literally saying, "Oh, I acknowledge Dio as my god." Whoa there, buddy. You know, I wish I could fact check myself right now. I tried to look something up, that shit just didn't load. Rough Wednesday, bro. But you cannot tell me Pucci wasn't even some type of glazer for Dio, because we have to remember, this man literally fused with part of Dio, technically, because it was Dio's bone, but that's technically, you know, Jonathan's bone. That's why he got the, you know, Joestar birthmark, and so did Weather. It's a lot. But you know what? All that glazing of Dio got him far enough to almost about this close to winning. So, low-key respect. Alright, y'all. That's really all I got. I'm tired. And we're on the road to 5K. So, if you enjoyed the video, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, you know. Till next time. Peace.